go.
We did cut that. Yeah.
Yes, we did. We got it all.
Okay.
I got her those boots at yard sale.
All right, so we'll get started. Basically, our goal for you today is to come away with at least 3 ideas that you can use after spring break. So we want to teach you things that are so simple that you can just go back and do it. And that's what our goal for you is. And then hopefully you'll find some other things that you would want to explore more. But thinking about that, try to think through 3 things that you can take back next week, or 2 weeks, I guess, and use in your classroom. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that over to Mindy, because you've already did my assignment for finding out what you already know. And I'm going to make sure I know that what to teach you so that I don't reteach things you already know about.
Okay. I have. Okay. On here I have great websites for educators. I want you to find 1 to 2 websites you can use to enhance your lessons. I know that Barb comes to me a lot and says, "Where do you find these things?" And I don't make a lot of them. I borrow them. And some of my favorite websites to do are Smart Exchange, and I'm going to bring this up. They're in your packet. This is one I use a lot. This one you do have to have a login. It's free though. Everything on it is free. So if I sign in,
It's on the last page.
Smart Tech. It's Smart Exchange. If you type the other one in, you don't get as many good lessons. So like, does somebody have something they would want to find a slideshow on?
3-dimensional shapes.
Okay, so what I would do is I go to the search thing and put 3D shapes, and I hit enter, and it's going to come up with, hopefully, all of the things with 3D shapes. If you just did a general search and you didn't put a grade level in, it does tell you this. Grade 1, grade 2, 3, and 4. It says it's applicable for any of those. And so you can go through and you can hit download or open in Smart Notebook Express.
Quick question.
Yes.
Should the lights be off when we do this with the kids?
You can see it better.
Sometimes I do it that so they can see it better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't mind.
So I'm actually going to.
As long as they don't go to sleep.
Well, they're always saying, turn the lights off, turn the lights off.
I usually do.
And it does, yeah, it obviously does brightness.
Something else that helps
Then
is
the
if
air
you have the
comes on.
light above your smart board disconnected, it's brighter for some reason. Brian pulled in that.
You mean that light up there?
That light right there, if you have that taken out, some reason when the lights are on, it's just brighter.
So you can look at what I do with a pen. I do this in class all the time too. Excuse me. You can look 2D shapes and 3D shapes. You can go through. It talks about vertices.
That word, sure.
And I don't create it. This is just theirs. If I want to keep this, then I can hit my file. And if you're at school, you can hit save as on your T drive, so you keep it. And if you don't like it, you don't have to do anything. You just get rid of it. A lot of times they'll have games created with it too. How many vertices does a pyramid have? And then they'll have answers, and everyone's different. And sometimes I get one and I don't like all of the slides, so I'll delete some of the slides and maybe add something that I want there instead. And if you want to know how to delete slides or something, I'm sure we can talk about that in a little while. So that is the Smart Tech Exchange. They have lessons on all kinds of things, all kinds of subjects, grade levels, and everything. It is free. You do have to have a sign-in, but it's free. Nothing on it. You don't have to pay for anything on it.
Hey Mindy, I have a question.
Yes.
I've used this before, and sometimes it'll say there's 20 different lessons, but I can only go to the first page, and then when it says next, I can't see the rest of them. Is that just a computer problem that I have?
I've never had that happen.
So you're able to go to each page?
Usually, yeah.
My computer says,
Do you do open in Smart Notebook Express or download?
but I mean like different activities.
Oh.
Like let's say I look at the first 10 and I don't like them, so I want to go to the next page of activities.
Oh,
It doesn't let me.
I'll have to look at that. I've never seen it before.
Okay.
But I can look at it and see if maybe it rings a bell.
I find that with a lot of things like mailbox.com and those things, but it's because I didn't pay for it. They'll tease you with a few things and then
Not letting you
yeah.
Another website that I know a lot of people hear about, some people know it and some people don't, is Pinterest, and it is free as well. You do have to be invited or sign up for an invitation, but it's free. And I find a lot of things on it for home use and school use. I could spend a lot of time,
And a lot of people think that this is something you have to have a Facebook for.
You do not.
And you do not. Ashley said that it can be a little more difficult signing up if you don't have a Facebook, but that it is possible.
It's pretty easy.
Because I don't have Facebook.
This looks a little overwhelming if you're just looking at it, but I have, these are my boards. You can have boards for anything. I'm going to go to my school one because that is the best one. And I need to probably organize mine a little bit better. Did I pass it? There it is. But I need to organize mine better because I'm thinking of taking my school one and changing it to like reading activities, crafts, things like that. Because right now it's all under school. These are it's basically what Pinterest is these are things I've pinned. Somebody else had it. I see the front page. RTI, response to intervention, is a big thing we're talking about. So basically it is a bulletin board on the computer that you kind of keep your ideas, and it keeps those links for you, kind of like a bookmarking page, and you go through it, and right now it says a wonderful resource for all things RTI, so I can click on it and it'll take me out to the website for that. So a lot of people have blogs on here where I've gotten a lot of good ideas. And a lot of times this will take you to other websites. So you kind of get into that. More stuff. I gotta look for more stuff.
Yeah.
But I've gotten awesome like guided reading forms to use in the guided reading groups. Craft ideas, the little bunnies my class made yesterday, I got off of Pinterest.
Ashley did a Dr. Seuss glyph that she found on Pinterest. So she just saw the picture that said Dr. Seuss glyph, and she clicked on it, and she looked at it, liked it, and pinned it to her board.
Yes, and like it's something like, oh, I can use that later. It has all kinds of different crafts. Anchor charts. I've been using a lot of anchor charts this year, and if I scroll down, and there's units, there's books, and here's one. Confused, maybe an anchor chart can help. Yeah, I'll sometimes use my iPad, be looking at the anchor chart so I can remember what I'm putting on my anchor chart when I'm making it with the classroom too. But just something that I thought I could use in my classroom, and it'll take, does it take me there? You click on it and it takes you out to the websites.
What is an anchor chart?
That's never a good thing. It is like a chart if you're talking about main idea. The other day we put like the hand, the main idea, and then the supporting details. Basically, it's just a chart that those up there could be considered anchor charts about the honesty.
It's like a poster that reminds the students of a lesson that you taught so that they can make a connection to it. So like the paragraph poster up there with the sandwich, we actually made sandwiches and we talked about how we did crackers, but we talked about how the cracker was the topic sentence and the closing sentence, and that sometimes those can be switched around if it makes sense. And the details in the middle of our sandwich, which I think we use pepperoni, cheese, and pickles, that you can switch the details around to make your paragraph sound better. And so now, anytime we think about paragraphs, I'm always like, oh, remember the sandwich? You know, this is what we talked about. And it's just it's something for them to go back to remind them of the lesson that we taught.
This is one that I did for place value. I found it on here, and I totally brought it into my classroom, and we talk about it as we're putting it in. So,
Just a reference, I guess.
yes, it's like a reference.
And would you make one of those charts and then print it out? And
No, I
post
actually-
it, or?
I actually made it on our chart paper, and then I just can hang it up in the classroom.
So some of the things are like, I don't want to say worksheets, but handouts that you might want to print and give to the kids. And other things are just ideas that you would have to make your own.
Yes, which that's from my bulletin board.
Look at the family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you see that?
These-
Roll around.
These are our Easter bunnies from yesterday.
With the suckers.
With the sucker.
It was a dum dum
Dum
sucker. I
Dum
think.
Pop.
Did you have to
Yeah.
hot glue those? That's a cute
I did.
idea.
So we did those yesterday. So that's Pinterest. I mean, you could go on forever. We could spend all day on it because it's a lot of fun. And I can always send invite. Like if you want to be on it, I can invite you, and it'll send you an invitation. I don't know how that works. I'm imagining it's faster. When I signed up, I had to like ask to be invited, and I had to wait like 2 weeks, and I was very impatient.
If you get an invite from a person, it literally like
Goes
someone
right
told me
away?
They were going to invite me, and she told me in the morning, and I had it by noon.
Okay. Another one is Teachers Pay Teachers. Now I know it says pay teachers, but they have a lot of free ones. This is another one. It's free to sign up for the account. I have purchased a couple things on it, and it's nice because most the things you purchase, it downloads it right to your computer. And if you come to school, like I've done it at home, and then I come to school and I'm like, oh, I need that, but I didn't send it, I can go here and it'll let me download it here as well. And it's teacherspayteachers.com, but you can see there's all kinds of lessons for free. A lot of them aren't necessarily lessons, but maybe, what's the word, additional resources you could use for lessons.
Supplemental.
There you go.
Silent E thing came from?
What is that?
The silent E thing that you
Yes.
shared with
We had a Silent E, a packet that I got off there, and I shared it with my grade level. This is the website, and a lot of the things are cheap. That if they are for sale, there's some for $1. And the nice thing is, it's going to other teachers who created it. Don't forget about YouTube. I use YouTube to introduce songs and different lessons that we do, and I can attach the YouTube video into my smartboard slides. It's not as difficult as it seems. My newest thing is I can, like the pictures that I'm clicking on, I know how to put my links for that picture instead of having the big website on my page. So.
Do you just type a topic?
Yep, so like we did, let's see, for the sun, I always do the song, Why Does the Sun Shine? Because it talks about that the sun is a mass of incandescent gas, and it talks about, and the kids love the song. So I usually do that every year. It doesn't have sound on right now. Or yeah, it does.
You just need to turn it up if you go to the bottom right corner.
But they have Schoolhouse Rock videos on it, on YouTube, that you can use in addition to your lessons and everything. So, and the kids love this video. But I will stop that. But like if you want to know, also Bill Nye the Science Guy, there's things on here. Full clips from all kinds of different science things on there, waves, and I loved Bill Nye the Science Guy when I was a kid. So So if you want to know if there's something out there, it's probably on YouTube. There is also something called TeacherTube. Same kind of thing, but it has a lot of teaching things on it. I tend to go to YouTube more, but there is a TeacherTube.
There's GodTube.
Yes, there is.
Is that what you said? I haven't heard of that.
GodTube.
And the last one that is my other, these are ones I go to a lot. Scholastic.com, they have lesson plan ideas, and they even have a part that you can go to, and they have free resources and resources you can pay for as well that download right to your computer. And I found a lot of them are straight from a book that they might sell, like a teacher book on word ladders or something. But maybe you just want one page. You can buy that page for like $1 or something. And that was, I discovered that a couple months ago.
I have a dumb question.
Oh, no questions,
And there
Don.
are dumb questions. When you say you just pay $1 or so,
How? No, not a dumb question.
what do you do? Stuff it into the machine?
You stuff it into the hard drive.
I mean, you set up an account on each one of these things?
You don't have to. A lot of them use PayPal, which you sign up for a PayPal account, and it takes it out of your credit card, and it's a safe thing. It can be out of your credit card or your checking account. And if you purchase it through PayPal, that is a safe way to do it. Scholastic, of course, we're all pretty familiar with that. But I know Teachers Pay Teachers does use PayPal, and the Scholastic does use PayPal. Most of the websites should use PayPal. The other ones, like Pinterest, is free and things like that.
Yeah, anytime
So
you have the
when
option
you just
to
hit
use
buy, it automatically goes to your PayPal account?
Well, no, you have to approve it and everything else. Like, you put your PayPal name and password in, and then it'll make sure you want to purchase it. So it's not like anybody could just go in and, I'm going to use Jessica's PayPal account, thanks.
So you have to log into your
You're
PayPal
probably
account.
not, because I'll never have.
Well, you can use PayPal for Amazon.com and all kinds
eBay.
of eBay.
Okay.
You can, it's kind of dangerous. So those are some of my favorite websites. I know you have tons of them listed. On the back of your paper, of your packet, this paper is there for you to be helped. When you get to go and explore the websites, you can put which website you found the most useful. How will you use the website to aid in your instruction and or planning instruction? This is just notes for you, because you're going to take it with you. And what websites would you still like to explore? Or explore more of? Because like I said, you go to Pinterest, I mean, you can see tons of these things. And I can send you guys an invite if you guys want me to. Because in recipes, a lot of the recipes are wonderful on there. And you can have
the rainbow cake, right?
yes. And you can have friends.
St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah,
I
there's.
didn't eat any of it.
Oh, you didn't see the rainbow cake?
No.
Oh, it's really cool.
Just because of
I
something.
had parents,
You can have friends on Pinterest. Cindy is my friend on Pinterest. Now the only problem is you can share ideas for school and then you could steal each other's ideas too. No, it's not a
have
problem.
the same bulletin boards.
That's right. Well, I almost did that because Krista did the other kind of one thing too, and I was going to do that one, but I was like, no, it's fine. She goes, I don't care, and I'm like, no, it's okay, because there's plenty more to go around. So, but that is what I have on website. So any questions, feel free to ask, and I don't know it all, but I can try.
Very good.
All right. So to the Mimio use, you saw Mindy clicking around and doing all kinds of crazy things. I looked through your papers that showed me which of these tools that you are most familiar with and which ones you're not as familiar with. So if I am repeating something you already know, just bear with me, because some of them go really fast and others of them take a little bit longer. But basically, my toolbar, I keep it at the bottom because my kids use my magic, I call this the magic pen. They use it a lot and they can never reach it if it's at the top. So you have this option right here, and if you want to put it on the top, you put it on the top. So as simple as that. That's one of the icons that was on here that maybe you weren't familiar with. But I always keep mine at the bottom because they can reach it a lot better, and I can even reach it better. You can see the 2 arrows. This just takes you back and forth between your pages, the previous page or the next page. One that I didn't know if you guys, there were several of you that didn't know about this, but adding a page. It's just as simple as clicking on it, and now you've got a brand new page to write something on. So if you've made a slideshow for your lesson, but then you need an extra page because something came up that you wanted to discuss, then you just click add a page and get a pen and you just start writing on it. And that's it. So that was one button. Then we have, of course, the undo button, which everybody knew, but some of you didn't know the redo button. So redo just makes it come back. So if you messed up and pushed the wrong one, then you just click the other one and it comes back. So undo one way and redo the other.
Which that's the same in Word, our new Word too.
Mm-hmm.
It's in the upper left-hand corner.
Yeah.
How did you only undo just part of that letter?
It's whatever you, if you're writing, it's whatever you wrote last.
Okay.
So if I would write like my whole name in cursive, then it should take away my whole name because I did not pick up my pen.
Except for the first
Oh, except for that first part. You're right.
Oh, as long as it's attached.
Yeah, as long as it's attached. But if I would write it in print, then it's going to, every time I pick my pen up, it's going to only take away that part.
And you can keep, yeah.
Maybe not, sorry.
It's kind of weird like that. But you can hit undo again, it'll undo the last thing. It'll keep going until she stops hitting undo.
Some of you knew about the screen shade. So if you have something on your board that you don't want to show the kids right away, but you wanted to have it up there so that it's ready, then you can click on this button down here. It looks like a shade on the window, and you just click on it, and it puts this big gray screen up. Then you can drag the screen. So for example, I've got prefixes and suffix definitions on here. So I don't want them to see the suffix one yet, but there's the prefix. So you can pull it down as far as you want.
Very nice touch.
You can also pull it sideways. So if I just wanted to show them these words and have them tell me the definitions, then there we go. We pulled it
And now you
sideways.
can pull
They
it
tell me
down
the
too, right?
prefix definition, and there it is. If you don't want it anymore, you just simply click the X and it's gone.
What's that box that's up?
This box here, this is what the recording device.
you hit the
It's
screen
usually
button,
not
it'll
there.
go away.
Okay. Thank you.
So there's that screen shade. Sometimes people get really upset with all the different toolbars and it's just so distracting. So there's a button that's full screen. If you click on that button, it'll take it to full screen and all you'll have is this one little box in the corner. And then that way you don't have all your extra toolbars that might be distracting. And then as soon as you want to go back, you just click the screen again and it'll go back and give you all your toolbars. Let's see here. There's also dual page where it looks like there's 2 pieces of paper beside each other. I use this quite a bit because I'll have something on one side, on one slide and something on another, but I want them to see both of them at the same time. So you just click that, and then if you don't want 2 pages anymore, you just click it again and it goes back to 1. So a lot of this is just click on it and then click on it again and it'll take it away. The one, oh, I'm sorry.
Originally wrote that on the computer.
This?
Yeah.
Yes, I typed this on the computer.
Okay.
So I previously made this and had it ready to go.
Okay.
And there are times that I have a lesson where I don't write anything, I just have a completely blank screen because it depends on what the kids tell me. Like if we're brainstorming ideas of things to write about, then I just simply have a blank white screen and they tell me ideas and then I just write up there. But if it's something that I can kind of plan for, then I try to have it typed so that they're not staring at my backside the whole time trying to write. So, one cool feature that some of you didn't know about was the screen capture tool. And I'm going to move this back up so that you can see it better. The camera. This one is really cool because you can take pictures of anything and put it right, it'll go right into your smart software. So let's say that you wanted to show them a picture of, I don't even know, tell me something you want to see a picture of for one of your lessons. Anything.
Sombrero.
A cow, a sombrero. All right, so this is what you do. You just, let me minimize everything. You just get on the internet. and you type in cow.
Be
Hit
careful,
enter.
don't do this always in front of
Yeah,
them.
don't do this in front of kids
I tried to
sometimes.
tell you
Something
that
comes
they-
up.
Well, sometimes something will come up like somebody in their underwear or something.
Yes. Well, and that's what I'm getting ready to show you, because if you just want pictures, you can type it into Google, but it's going to give you websites that you really don't want to finagle through to find a picture of a cow. So if you go to images right there, then this is where it can get sticky, because if I scroll through there, you might find some really inappropriate pictures of cows. And there's nothing that the filter can do to filter out those pictures, because cow is not a bad term,
Yeah.
and so it doesn't filter out cow. But if I scrolled through, I'm sure it would give me something terrible.
And it's nice because sometimes I'll go and I'll actually copy the picture and put it in something. But there's sometimes I can't copy the picture and put it in something, like say a Word document. And I'll go to my smartboard thing, use the camera, and copy it that way. And I can put it in my Word document too. So it makes it easier where you get some restrictions on some things that.
So I always like to have my pictures a little bigger. So if I would want the picture of the cow with the pink spots, then I would just click on it. It's got strawberries on it. Oh, and now,
And it does
oh,
that
it's,
sometimes.
So there's a question.
Yes.
Does it give strawberry milk?
yeah, there we go.
That's where
All right,
it's
so
from.
here's how you would get the picture of this cow. You have to get into your smart notebook. You have to click on the camera, and this little box will pop up. Okay. Then you would go to your internet picture that you want. If you click on this first picture of the camera, it shows a square box. You click on that, and now you've got this little plus sign. You are going to go around this picture that you want. Just make a box around it. You heard it take the picture, and it said saving ink notes, because when you go back to your smart, there's your picture of your cow.
And she can make it bigger over
You
there.
can
Sometimes it gets kind of fuzzy.
make it bigger. Gets a little fuzzier as the bigger you make it. You can use the screen thing and turn it sideways if you really wanted to. Okay, you can turn it upside down, whatever you want. And that's how you get pictures. And I'll just show you an example of some pictures that I've pulled up and why I would have pulled them up. So, oh, I forgot my toolbars up here. New page. Okay, what I'm doing now is I'm going to go to my gallery. I don't save anything from Smart Notebook on my T drive. Brian Poole says I have the biggest gallery he has ever seen in his life, because I just put it in here. I think it's so much easier. So I've got my content, and you can see I've got tons of folders. I've got a folder on character education, genres, grammar, handwriting, homework, interactive tools. I've made all these, and I'll show you how to make those in a second. But if I would go to like my reading folder, inside my reading folder I have author's purpose, connections, fables, and let me just click through one here. All right, here we go. I got that picture off the internet. It was accessing prior knowledge because I was going to read a story called Grandpa's Teeth, where Grandpa loses his dentures. But I didn't know if the kids knew what dentures were, and if they didn't know what dentures were, then they wouldn't understand the story at all. Or if they didn't know people can actually take their teeth out, they would have no idea how Grandpa ever lost his teeth. So I showed them this picture, and I told them to write down 3 things that they know about this picture. You know, and some of them are like, I don't know anything. I'm like, well, what color is this? You know, and so they wrote down, some of it's pink, and I'm like, that's all I need to know, because I just want to know, what do they know about this already. Some of them knew they were called false teeth, and some called dentures. Some of them didn't really know anything besides that they're straight and they're pink and they're kind of yellow, is what they told me. So then that let me know what I had to explain, and that's one way I use the screen capture tool. Any questions about that one? Because I know that's an interesting
I
one.
have a quick question.
Yeah.
You do most of this at school, so do you ever do smart stuff at home? Okay.
I don't. I
Because
do
if you
everything
were
at
to
school.
save that to your gallery, it would only be on your gallery at
Yes,
home.
yes, it only stays in my gallery, yes,
Okay.
here at school, because I don't do anything at home. But, let's see here. I think I might, well, yeah, I might stop there, because I want you guys to be able to explore some of the tools that I've already showed you, maybe like the screen shade, or showing 2 pages at a time, or the screen capture, and I'm going to give you time to practice those things. So if you want, Becky's room, Jamie's room, and Ashley's room are all ready and have smart notebooks pulled up. If you want to just kind of break into small groups and go play for, oh, I don't know, we'll say about 10 minutes, explore. Mindy and I will come around, and then we'll come back and see if you have any questions about the tools so far. Okay? So you may go ahead, break off to their rooms, and we'll be around.
But it fell apart, so I had to save it. So I saved it. And then I brought it in, and everybody did it, and it was good.
There we go. Where are we? Websites. Oh, no, that's yours. There's the internet. All right, so let's say you have this up and you only want to get the dog's face for some reason. Then you would just click on this one, and instead of putting a box around it and getting half of maybe the words rock hounds, then you just click on that one.
I always want to duck when that camera comes.
And then you just have your dog's face. So if you would want part of a picture, that's how you would get part of it instead of having to have the whole
Isn't
square.
that cool?
Yeah.
Thanks.
All right, any questions about any of the tools so far? Yes, go ahead.
No, there was another question.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure.
Okay, so you get this picture on here, and so now it's on your computer, right? On your
Yes.
screen?
Mm-hmm.
If you were to print it out, that would print out.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me show you a couple things with printing. It'll print out small right now, but if you would make it bigger, it kind of gets fuzzy. That's actually how I made your handout, is I went and took pictures of every one of the tools, and then I just put them in a Word document and printed it. So that's why they're kind of shaded and a little fuzzy, because that's how I got your handout. But anyway, if you would want to print this, just like most programs, you go to File and Print. Now, you've got 3 choices. If you click, you're going to print the thumbnails, then it is going to print all 6 of these slides on one page. If you want it to look like a handout, then you would have your slides with, and you've seen these at presentations before. But if you just want the picture of the dog, then you would go to full page, and you would only want to print whichever page the dog was on. So let me see here. We'll just do the cow. So the cow is on page 5. So then you would just type in a 5 down here where it says pages, click print, and it will print out the picture of the cow. Now the only bad thing is it still won't be very big. It's still going to be kind of small. And I was talking to Brian Westfall about it, and we can't figure out how to get a bigger picture.
And you can move that cow up to the top, say.
Yes.
Right.
Now you can't move it right now because you're in the print part of it, but if you would cancel that,
Yeah.
but yeah, you can move your dog up or down. Or
Oh my God.
move your dog. Move your dog.
Not me.
All right. One thing is that you just want to remember is the arrow is what's going to let you click and move things like a mouse. So if you have your pen, you're going to write on your dog. You're not going to be able to move your dog. So if you're trying to move it, you're like, why isn't it moving? It's because you don't have the arrow. The arrow is what moves things. All right, so there's another tool here that looks like a squiggly mark with an X, and that one will clear any text. So it won't clear a picture, but it will clear anything that you wrote. So I just accidentally scribbled all over my dog, and if I want to just get rid of the pen marks, then I just click that and it gets rid of the pen marks, but it won't delete everything. If you want to delete everything, then you've got a page that looks like a piece of paper where an eraser is taking it all off. Then, let me write on mine. You click on that and it'll take everything off on the page and delete the whole thing.
And if you accidentally do that, how do
Can you
get
go
that
back
dog
to undo?
Undo.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
Undo. And if you want to redo it,
Ah.
you just redo it again. So, undo, redo.
Okay.
Let's see here. Pen colors. That's something that I don't know if everybody knows how to get all the different pen colors and sizes. I always choose several colors. I always have a white one because then you can white out answers and then just erase them and then it pops up. So let me show you an example of that. So if you don't want to use the screen, the shade, if you don't want to use that, then you could take your white pen.
How did you get the white pen?
And I'll show you. And you could just white it out and say, okay, what are the letters at the beginning of a word that change the meaning of the word? And then you can have a student come up and erase it, and reveal the answer. So that's why I always have a white pen, because I usually want to white something out so they can't see it. All right, so pens. If you go over to this, and there's an icon on your paper for this, then, oh, I have to be clicked on my pen first. There we go. You can choose the thickness of your pens. You can choose the colors of your pens. You can choose if you want your line to be dashed. You can choose if you want your line to start with a square or triangle. And if you want your pen to end with a square or a triangle or a circle.
And to get that little thing, you just hit pens?
You have to click on the pen first.
Yeah.
And then you have to click on the style button. And so then if you want to change, let's say I want to change my white pen. Then I make sure my white pen is clicked, and I want to change it to, how about gray? So I changed it to gray. It's still the same width. I still have the same line, which means when I write, it's going to just be a straight line. It's not going to be dotted. And you just click Save Tool Properties. And now my pen is gray. And that's what you do with all the pens. So I'm going to change that back to white, if you guys don't care. Let's say you want your pink one to be the thinnest one possible, but you want it every time you write to start with a triangle on the top. Then, whoops, say Tool Properties, and when I write with my pink pen, oh,
It's there, it's just a little bit.
is it there? I don't see it. You think it's there?
I can see a little triangle
Like
at
a
the
little
top.
triangle?
It's really little.
I don't know why you would ever use it, to be honest.
Unless you're making a line to point to something.
Yeah, or to start a kid on cursive writing, where to
Maybe if
start.
you had,
Right.
if it was thicker, maybe the arrow would
Oh,
show up
like
better.
Or direction of things.
So let's make it
Yeah,
really
make
thick.
it gigantic.
I
And it's
totally
triangle.
didn't know you could change the colors of those pens up there. That's awesome.
There we go.
Yeah.
I see it now.
Yeah, I can see
There,
it.
now you see it.
There's the arrow.
All right. Any questions about how to change your pens? So I always have highlighters as well, 2 different colors in case you want to highlight anything. And you just make it by clicking on it, going to this, and then you just choose your width and choose your color. So I have a pink highlighter and a yellow highlighter. That highlights things.
Now, is that stuff on the side always there?
This? Yes.
Yeah,
This is all, these 4. Is that what you're talking about? Did I say something silly?
No, she did.
Are we still being recorded?
Yes, we
And
are.
I'm gonna change my voice so people don't be asking all the dumb questions.
No, it's not dumb. Yes.
That is not a dumb question, but it's.
Am I recording? How? Oh, good question. I just learned this yesterday. Brian Poole came to my room and said, I need you to record your session, and I wasn't here for him to tell me, so of course he recorded himself teaching me and left me a big message on my screen that said, Kendra, click here to find out how to record yourself. So that's what he did for me, but let me minimize everything and I'll show you.
Yeah, that toolbar might be on the other side.
Okay.
But it's always there. There's one on top and one
You
on
should
the
have
Unless
a recorder. You should have a recorder icon, and you just double click on it and it will pull up that box, and then you just click on the red circle to make it start, and since it's already started, that's why it's not red.
Why would you want to record?
Do you really know this?
For safety?
That's what you use.
Well, a lot of middle school, high school use it to record their lessons while they're talking, so then they can put it on Moodle
Oh,
and their
the
kids can
kids can
listen
get
to
it.
it.
Where does it go?
Where does it go? When I'm all done, I will save it to what's called an iDrive. Now, I don't know if everybody has an iDrive. I'm not sure. I just found out I had an iDrive. So if you want to use it, Brian, yeah, I think it's for in-service. It stands for in-service, and I think he's putting all of the recordings on that iDrive. So I don't think everybody has one right now, but you could save it to your T drive. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, you could save it to your key drive, Cindy.
But when you're done recording,
Mm-hmm.
where's the lesson at that you recorded? Where do you find it?
Let's see. Well, stop the recording.
Yeah, but I
I don't know how to
where
stop
it's
it.
at.
Oh,
You're
it's
right.
because I'm just
Thanks.
Tonight.
I'll do the L-drive for it.
There you go. But then that way it doesn't have to be created a bunch of times. And then there's actually, we were making an assessment And I started making the assessment on my computer, and I ran out of time, and I texted Jamie and said, I ran out of time, I want you to get on there, see what you think. So she got on her L drive on her computer, pulled up the assessment that I started making and finished it, and then I looked at it when I got home, and we both liked it, and that's it.
Oh,
So, yeah, I mean, now that we're all doing a lot of the same things, it'd be nice if everybody, you know.
was on the same page.
Mhm.
The same L drive.
Right.
Same one.
Okay.
That's really, that's gonna save this school.
Oh, tons.
My things, my stuff, my way.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Now, I have a scanner in my room, so Jamie will say, oh, I need this scanned because I want to show it to my students on here and manipulate it. And so I'll scan it for her and put it in the L drive, and then she has it.
Where's the scanner? You have one here?
Uh-huh. I went to a SWOCA conference, and they gave me a free scanner.
Oh.
You can
Yeah.
get one from Brian, I think, because we did it at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, here's a scanner.
Yeah, Brian has scanners that you can have, and I scan just about everything. Instead of me holding up a paper and saying, okay, now boys and girls, right here is where I want you to put your
Oh,
name,
you're kidding me.
and I put it all up
If
there.
you have, like everyday math, the math, like our math slides, I use that camera button to take the picture of it. You can copy and paste them too, but you can use the camera button to copy them too. If you find a worksheet or something you like on Pinterest or wherever you find them, you can copy that and put it into your smartboard presentation as well. I mean,
Can you manipulate it?
yeah.
Well, you can't have you put it in.
You can.
Let's see here. Just a couple more tools that you might find interesting. The line tool, where if you would want to make columns for something, then you've got all these lines to choose from, and you can change those. You can change all the colors and styles over here with that button. But let's just say I wanted to make some columns.
That's how you did columns the other day, and I tried to figure it out, and I couldn't.
Yeah. So then you can do a category thing where you could have a bunch of pictures of animals, and you could have mammals or not mammals, and then the kids would just click and drag to wherever, what column they would go in.
That's good for CVC words.
Yes. Yeah. So an example, I can show you an example of how I have used columns. Let me go to
You just had one the other day.
for language arts intervention.
Yeah. Yep, that's what you did. I tried
I
to
can see it
copy
better over here.
Do it with marker on the board.
Oh, here we go.
I walk around and do it for the kids myself.
That's what she did, that's what she had on
Okay,
there.
there we go.
Yep.
So I had sentences that they had to decide if they happened in the past, the present, or the future, and then the kids just had to click and drag them over.
Okay, now do it.
Okay, now I'm going to do something here really quickly that you're probably thinking, what in the world is she doing? First of all, I'm going to have to right click. Oh, wait. Am I on it? Where am I? Okay, there I am. All right, right now I have everything grouped together because every one of these sentences is a different box. And let me, okay, so I right clicked and I come up with this and it says grouping, and I'm going to ungroup everything. And now you can see every one of my lines is different. My past, present, future boxes are different. All of my sentences are different. So if I ungroup them and I click on the page, all those blue boxes will go away. There we go. And now I can click and drag wherever they go. But now here's the thing. When you save it, you don't want to have all those little boxes everywhere. So you have to group. Let me just show you. So if I were going to put this in my gallery, which is the way where I save everything, if I would click to try to save it, here we go. First of all, you have to get rid of auto hide because every time I click out there, it's going to take this box away. So now it won't. But if I wanted to drag this whole thing over and save it, it's only going to drag that sentence, which means you would have to drag everything over one by one by one, and I don't want to do that, and I don't want to have to put it all back together every year. So instead, what I do is I right-click, put it on the computer, right-click.
How do you right click with the pen?
Well, I was trying to use the buttons, but mine are not working. Here we go. Oh, I know what I have to do. You have to highlight everything.
You were
So you go up and you highlight everything.
She's on.
Then you right click.
I want some.
Come on. Ah, what's going on? Let me get it all highlighted. It's getting really slow for some reason.
Probably because it's 10th day and everybody's doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, do you guys know how to lock things? Like if you don't want the kids to accidentally delete something that you've made?
I don't
Okay.
want kids touch my computer.
So I group everything together now.
They use the pen on there.
And if I group everything,
Oh.
then now it'll all move as one piece instead of a bunch of little pieces. Yes.
I typed in, like, let's say the kids sort their spelling words, like, different columns.
Uh-huh.
When I've done this and the kids come up and drag it over, I've done a new text box every time, so it would be separate. I don't have to do that. Like, I can create, like, when I first create it, can I create it or no?
No, you do have to create a different text box every time, but then you can group it.
Yes.
And now when you go to drag it over, there we go. Now if I drag it over, it's dragging the whole thing and not just that one sentence. So there it is.
Gosh, it just only went over a little bit and it went into it. Is that right?
Yep. Okay. All right, so that was the lines.
Do you guys know about locking? Like if you let the kids hold the pen and making sure you lock it, because if they
Okay, let me go back to that and I'll show you.
something.
Okay.
Or
So-
because my kids have done that.
All right, so let's say, oh, why isn't it erasing? Let me ungroup it real quick.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I'll show them how to lock. Group. Gotta get rid of this thing.
I let them use it when we do that starfall because they read under
There we
the
go.
pen on the word and the word
It's
is.
a work, it's a work.
Ah, undo.
That I can do. Yeah, I do.
All right, so if you have this to where they can click and drag things, is that what you mean, Mindy? And then lock it. So I never lock mine. What do you?
Well,
why
I've
do you
had
lock it?
what I'm talking about is like, because I've had like, none of yours is locked, right?
No.
So like I've had kids, I don't want this messed up because they move my line over and I need my line there. So like what I do is these are okay to move and I always do it over here. So like say I'll select all this stuff I don't want them to move.
By accident. if
By
you're
accident.
accidentally-
I want it to stay there. So I'm just going to right click and I go under locking and you
lock
can
it.
lock it in place and now they cannot move that. These they can still move. Now this I
I
can,
still move those.
Because we didn't lock those.
I didn't lock it.
We only highlighted the lines. Mhm.
But these they could technically, like I could accidentally delete that.
Mhm.
And I don't want it deleted. We do undo. So I can lock this so nobody can delete it, but I can allow it to move. So it's locked, I can't delete that now, but I can move it over, and I'm not going to lose
So it's
it.
basically child-proofing everything.
Like
Yeah.
we do it for attendance in the morning.
Yeah.
So instead of them going up and moving their name upside down,
Yes,
they can move their name.
Because you can lock, you can allow, move, and rotate, which means now they can do this, and they can actually turn it. But the other locking, just allow, move, they can't turn it either.
Amy, what's wrong with the closed page?
Nothing.
But I like the attendance ID. I'm going to start using that next year. That way I can get rid of all that stuff over there. But you don't have to undo everything. I just won't save it.
So Kim,
Okay.
that list of things you typed.
Uh-huh. So you want me to show you how I created
How
it?
did you create that?
Okay. So let's say I wanted to create this. Then here's what I would do. I would just get my lines and make my columns. Becky, pay attention. Then I would get a text box. And I'm going to do it on the computer because it's easier. You're going to left click everything, but you just make a box. You can choose your font. You can choose your size. Choose your color. I'll just use black. All right. And then I'll type past. Now, here's what I like to do. Instead of creating a whole nother text box by going over here and clicking and making another one, I just right click on the word past and I clone it so that I don't have to find the font again and the size again. I just clone it and it'll say passed, and I clone it again, and I drag them over there, and then I double click them and I change it. Present and future. Okay, so there's my columns now, and I can move my line here. Okay, and now I want my sentences, so I get a text box. Put it over here, and we'll make them 24, and I'll make this one purple, and
The letter A, underline.
yeah, so there we go. There's my sentence. And now, like I said, if I would want them all to be the same color and same everything, I would just clone them a bunch of times and then just change them. And then that way you don't have to mess with it every time.
Now, how did you tell those lines to be straight?
Well, that's the cool thing about lines. If you draw it with a pen, it's not going to be straight because it's your hand making it. This line is automatically straight.
Well, how did you do it, tell it to be?
That line button right there, I took my
So
pen
that
off.
line is just.
That line is always going to...
Take your crooked line and make it.
Well, no, you don't even draw your line. You just click on that button and make a line.
Yeah.
Because, watch this one, because it's thicker. If I try to make it like zigzagged or anything, it's not going to do it. It's always going to be straight.
Okay.
So, if you're ever going to make a line, don't ever make it with your pen. Use the line button. And there's different lines you can make.
There's curved lines up there.
Yeah, there's curved if you wanted to. There you go. Make a big smiley face or something. But okay. But then now I just click on my arrow up there at the top, and I can drag my sentences wherever they go. Did that answer your question, Cindy? How I made it? So that's what I did. Let's see here. There's also shapes. So let me get a new page. Yeah, the shapes. There's all kinds of. Okay. There's a shape button that has a square and a circle, and you can get all different kinds of shapes if you want them for something. So.
The little tiny orange square and the circle and the little.
And you can even fill them in with color.
Okay, now, writing in them, you would go back, you'd have them up there.
Yep.
And then go to
The A.
font, yeah, or that stuff, yeah.
And you make a box in there.
Okay.
And you would type circle. Make it a little bit bigger maybe. Nope. There we go. And click on your arrow and you can move the word circle. And now your circle is labeled.
And if you wanted to always stay on the circle, you can group those two things together.
Yeah. So right now they're separate things. I can move the word circle and I can move the actual circle. But if you would want them to stay together forever, then you make sure you have your arrow up here at the top. You would highlight it and see how you have two boxes now. This box is for the circle and this box is for the word. And then you would just right click in the middle, inside, you right click, and you would group them together. And now they are one.
Wow.
They will always be one. So.
And if you're ever, like, say you go to Smart Tech Exchange and you find a show you like, a slideshow you like, but maybe you want to change the names and they've locked it, they might have locked it. If you just click on it and unlock it, you can change their things too. So think about the lock and unlock, because I've done that before. I'm like, oh, I don't like that part, and I need to change it to my kids' names or something, like an attendance thing. So if they've locked it, then you can right click on it, or you can go edit and undo. Right click is a lot easier.
How do you, when you get like a presentation like that, and if there's like a page in there you don't want, how do you take a page out?
You go to edit, and down at the bottom, delete page.
It's just as
Click
easy
on
as
it.
that?
Yep. It's as easy as that. You can also clone pages, and it'll make the same page again. So like say you make the background that you want for, hey, I taught I taught her how to show patterns.
Yeah,
in the
that's what
back.
I was gonna say. If you want to show them, you can.
If you-
This is something really cool that she just taught me yesterday. If you look at our original slides, go up here. Oh, nope, not that one. This one. And go to like one of those green slides. You can see my background is green fading into yellow. She's gonna show you. She just showed me how to do this yesterday, so you can show
Yes.
them how to.
So say this page, we wanted a background. I can do it over here. You go
You
to
get that
the-
same picture that we've used before to change the colors of our pens,
Yes.
and you've got a box around present, which means it's only going to do that.
Yes, which is true. Let me just do a blank page. Edit, insert page. Where is
Or you
it?
can just do the plus sign with the page on it.
Or that.
So click out of that, and see the, right beside the blue arrow,
There you go.
add a page.
That's easy. So now I'm going to just do this. I'm going to click on the A, and it says solid fill, gradient fill, pattern fill, image fill. I can, maybe I want to make it all pink. So now it's pink.
And that's all you do, is just
That's all you
click
do.
on the pink button.
Maybe I want it to be gradient fill, and it's pink, and right now, color 1 is pink. Color 2, maybe I want it to be white.
And now it's fading.
And I can make it go vertical, horizontal. Let me pick a different color.
It might brighter colors.
So there you go, use different ones. So you can actually do that and make it go different ways. Maybe I want it to be a pattern fill. So it comes up with this. I've got patterns. I'm going to pick a foreground color. Maybe I'll pick this color, and I have to select a thing.
Click OK.
Okay. So I'm going to, so
And
this
now it'll show you what
shows
it'll
me
look like if
what
it's
I
just
can
green
do.
and white.
Now this is my background, so now I can make that my back. That's what I did for mine, actually. My background, that's what I had used. And then the next page, I switched it over. I could have made it like that, polka dots.
You can hardly see the polka dots
You
on it,
can't see them back
unless you
there.
use different colors.
Could use that. That could change the background of the polka dots. And make them like that. So you have different ways if you want to make a fancy background, if you have that kind of time.
Or solid backgrounds, or
Yes.
whatever you want.
Some of them you can see, depending on the colors you choose, it could be bad or good. But like if you wanted to make a blank page, say I wanted pattern fill the lines, but I don't like that color, I could do that, and then I can actually clone the page, which is, I don't know where the clone page is when I'm over here. Oh, are we?
Okay, so we are way past our time, and we didn't even realize it. I thought we were done at 12:10. So that is my fault.
The next one.
Yes, I am so sorry. So, so we're gonna kind of end it early. My fault.
Late, you mean.
Yeah, or late. Yeah. Well, yes. I'm sorry. End late.
Early